My name is Kathy, and I will be doing a contest entry for your giveaway, so hooray! As far as spiritual practices go, I don't really affiliate with necessarily one at the moment. So I have a lot of things that I use, but I don't use them as frequently as most people probably would. I still consider it part of my spiritual practice, but my spiritual practice needs more practice, if that makes sense. So, I have tried to make a couple things. I'm actually wearing a necklace right now. It's my grandma necklace. But I've taken it apart and reconstructed it a few times and tried to make it a pendulum at one point. And I tried having a bead as the pointer for the pendulum. I tried having this little box in the middle, which if you open it, inside, rolled up really tiny, is kind of like a prayer that I made whenever I was working at one of my very first jobs. It's written on receipt tape, but that's been in there since I was like 17. But I thought that'd be kind of cool to use as a pendulum, but it didn't really work well for me. I didn't think it was very accurate, so I nixed it and turned it back into jewelry. The other thing that I had planned on making was a scrying mirror. I looked up all the tutorials, had plans to go out and make it one day, and when I was going out to get the supplies, my mom-in-law actually offered to just buy me one. So I was like, I'll take it, that works. So I do have a scrying mirror that I use. It's kind of dusty, sorry. This is my scrying mirror. Ooh, look, there's my lamp. You can tell I use really crappy lighting. And it has a little stand that came with it. And I've tried using this quite a few times, but I'm still not getting much out of it. I need to practice more with it on a more regular basis, because I'll get really good and use it like every night for a couple weeks, and then I won't use it at all for like a month. So I need to practice a little more with that. Then I have a couple things that I just feel drawn to before I get to my ultimate favorite thing that I use. This is a stone owl. I went shopping with my dad at a Goodwill, and I found him, and I picked it up, and something about the way it feels in my hands makes me very happy. So, like, on occasion I'll just want to hold it and walk around the house. The other day I wanted it in my purse, and I kept it with me at work, and every couple, hours, if I was in there looking for gum or chapstick or whatever, and I found it, I was like, oh yay! So, I have that. I don't really know much aside from what it does in my practice. It's just something that I feel really drawn to, and I can feel the energy from, if that makes sense. Another thing that I don't have a representation for, but I have a strange affinity towards trees, probably to an unnatural extent. And so I would say that I'm definitely drawn to that, and pull that in my life and in the things that I do and in my practice, but I don't really have a representation for it as of yet. Although I do have a tree candle holder. Probably should have brought that up, but I didn't. And then I've been looking for a couple different representations for different cultures that I've felt drawn to, and I've been looking for a Buddha forever, and I just found this cute little Buddha for $1 at a garage sale this week, and he makes me happy. Okay, so on to something that I actually use more frequently in a more practice situation would be my tarot cards. And they were kind of made, they have a cool story with them anyway. I had started dating my main squeeze about 5 years ago, and it was around this time of year when we first started dating that I just woke up and we had the day off, and he's like, hey, we are going on an adventure, and I was like, cool, and he kept me blindfolded the whole day. And I just sat in a car, and he ran around, and I'd explained to him that I wanted a tarot deck for the longest time, but I had heard that you're not supposed to buy your first tarot deck for yourself, is what somebody had told me. I don't know where I heard this information, but I really wanted to have someone give it to me, and originally I was going to have my cousin buy one, and I was going to buy one, we were just going to switch, but it never worked out. So I was telling him about it and told him, you know, like, you're supposed to keep the cards wrapped in cloth, and, you know, it's better if someone gives it to you and all that jazz. And I told him exactly the deck I wanted, and I'd been talking about it forever. And I ended up blindfolded, and he went to a craft store and got this beautiful box. I love this box. And he actually, sorry, let me get my stuff out of here. He went into the craft store, picked out fabric, and lined it for me to make sure that the cards had lining, and it's so pretty. Purple's my favorite color, and he lined it and told all the people at the craft store what he was doing. They were all like, oh, how cute are you? And then it's really raveled. I planned on putting a trim on it, and I never got to, as of yet. But then I have a cloth to actually read on, which is the same material that's on the inside. It's this really shiny, pretty purple, I don't know what I would call it, Moroccan feel cloth. I think it's so pretty. I have that. And then he wrapped my cards in this like mesh and tied it up with a ribbon, and that's my tarot deck. We have the 5 of Cups on the back at the moment. But yeah, that's my beautiful favorite tarot deck ever. And after he made it and got everything together from like 4 or 5 different locations, it was like evening by this point, and I was like, so are we gonna eat? Because I think about food more than most people do. And he was like, yeah. So we went to Panera, and he sat me down, still blindfolded, had to walk into Panera blindfolded, didn't know where we were. And then he took the blindfold off and just set this cute little box in front of me. And no, actually, he wrapped the box in this, now that I remember. He has this wrapped up around it. Well, it looked much better than that when I got it. But, yeah, that's how I got my tarot deck, and it's my favorite thing ever. I don't know. It was one of the first real gifts that he gave me, and it meant so much to me because I'd wanted it for so long. So that's my story on how I got my tarot deck, and I do feel like I get really good information out of it. I don't use it as often as I should, which sucks, and I have a terrible memory, so I have to actually go to my reference books and like look up every single thing. I don't tend to use a significator card, if that is how you pronounce that. I don't really know why. I've never read with one. Whenever I start, that's just how I start, and I do it without one. I get really good information out of it. About 3 months ago or so, I did a long distance read, my first long distance read with my friend who moved to California. I just got her online, and she kind of focused with me on her and whatever she wanted to ask. I did not ask, I just focused on her. I did my reading, I emailed her all my results, and she said it was 100% spot on. So it made me really happy. But again, as part of my practice, I'm trying to do more practice with them. So I have quite a bit of work to go, but I am trying to get more things from different cultures and different aspects, and all kind of infuse them into what I want to do, and that was my main tool that I use in my practice. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely day. Bye!